I definitely would have done that. I would have loved that. But hey, welcome to the two-man front. Thank you for joining us. I know we're a tad bit late, 30 minutes, but it's okay. We're here now. We got a packed full show, just like we got a packed full weekend of really, really good football, not just in the NFL, but obviously in college. The national championship this Monday. We got divisional round games today, starting at 1:30 my time, 4:30 your time, fall, with the Texans and Chiefs kicking it off. And we're going to talk about all those things.
Let's go, D'Amico Ryans.
But first, please subscribe to our YouTube. Use the little icon over there up front and top right corner. Subscribe, and of course, leave your comments below. We are looking forward to seeing you guys commenting and really getting into the discussion. It's a lot more fun when you guys get into the discussion. We really, really love it. Well, let's go ahead. Let's just jump right into it because we got a lot to cover right now because a lot has been going on really since last weekend up until right now, beginning with some coaching hires, right? So obviously one ball has dropped. Mike Vrabel, Patriots. We kind of already knew that was going to happen. But there's some more, right? There are some more. So let me go ahead and share my screen. Let's talk about which ones are still available. And we're going to choose which ones are the best coaching openings and what's the worst coaching opening in our opinion. So let me go ahead and share my screen real quick.
While he's sharing his screen, let me let you guys know all those coaching openings are the worst coaching openings. I'm not even going to lie. I've got details and I've got numbers. I know everybody hates numbers. Because your math teacher abused you with a ruler for some reason. But I've got numbers to prove why every single one of these jobs suck.
Honestly, it really is kind of slim. It really is. I can't even lie, right? It is. So as we just said, New England hires Mike Vrabel. So that position is pretty much done. Just for real quick, even though it is the position is filled by Mike Vrabel. Excuse me. Is this a good job? Like, is New England Patriots still a viable coaching job?
I think honestly, I think that would have been my pick for the best job out there. Really? Because I think Robert Kraft is willing to go with whoever is in there and allows his football people to do football things. I think it was phenomenal what happened with Brady, Belichick, and that relationship because that had been going on for so long. You're talking about three guys who were attached to each other for over a decade and a half. So there were relationships built there, and I think that had something to do with the way certain things went and why Robert Kraft undermined Belichick to a certain extent towards the end of Brady's tenure in New England.
Yeah.
But I think all in all, Robert Kraft will let football people do what football people do and give you the opportunity. I said it before and I'll say it again. I felt like he was talking out of his ass when he said Gerard Mayo is going to be a good coach. Just for the simple fact that he's going to be a good coach in the league, but you fucking fired him. And you fired him only because he was not a you did that. And again, my personal opinion, there's no facts behind this, but my personal opinion, you did that as a parting favor for Bill Belichick. Yeah, because Belichick was the one that recommended Mayo for the position. And now that Belichick is gone, the year passed, and you can bring in who you want to bring in and go from there. So Vrabel is going to have the opportunity that Mayo didn't have. That's the only shit that I don't like with Robert Kraft. But other than that, this position would have been the best position available because I believe Kraft, like I said, lets football people handle football things.
Yeah. I mean, I have a similar mindset and sentiment as well. I think the New England job out of all these jobs, and I'll scroll down so we can just kind of see what's available. I think out of the New England job, all these jobs, New England is the best job. It is the best job. I think it's the most stable franchise, obviously, with the rings they've had, the Super Bowl, the success they've had over the last 20 Oh, before the last few years, last 20 years, obviously they have Brady and Belichick, so that had a lot to do with it. But like you said, the owners are out of the way, or the owner, Robert Kraft, stays out of the way and allows the football people, like you said, to do football things. And that's really goes in to what makes or breaks these positions, right? So, Bob, real quick, you said it was New England. Well, New England is gone. So as I scroll down, let me go back up real quick. So what's available still? Chicago Bears. As you can see, the interview process they have pretty much been through.
Everybody and their mother. The only people they're missing are me and you.
Literally.
They haven't interviewed me and you yet.
Yeah. You have Dallas. Kellen Moore recently interviewed. Robert Saleh was kind of surprising to me, but I'm not surprised that much. You have Jacksonville. Spags, your boy Spags has completed an interview. Ben Johnson's a guy on everybody's list. Las Vegas Raiders, they're still looking for a head coach. Pete Carroll was the biggest name, or the most surprising name I saw on this list after he left and said he was retired from Seattle, from coaching after he left Seattle a couple years ago. And then New Orleans have a couple complete interviews there, and they're still interviewing some guys right there. And then, of course, the lowly New York Football Jets, who, again, another team that's interviewing everybody and their mother. All right, so we won't go to GMs right now. We're talking just coaches. So, Fog, out of all these teams, best position, best place to go right now.
Best place to go without interviewing for the GM, because remember, the Jets and the Raiders are both interviewing for GM positions. So the best place to go right now, if you're looking for a head coaching job, is going to be Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
Not because it's the best place to go. Remember, I prefaced all of this by saying, fuck all these places. A lot. Let me put my Pat McAfee chest out. These places suck.
Yeah.
I am not going. Chicago's the best place to go, but if you're going to go, you are interviewing Ryan Poles, not the other way around. I want to know what direction you have for this franchise. I want to know what direction you have for the growth and development of Caleb Williams. I want to know the direction you have or want to have with how this offense develops, and if me and what I'm bringing to the table is going to work and coincide with that, because I don't want to be butting heads. I want to know what you think the deficiencies are. Me as a coach coming in, I know what your deficiencies are. I want to know what you believe the deficiencies are on this team. And if we're on the same page, then I'm all in, and I want to be the Chicago Bears' next coach for the next 3 to 5 years, because that's how long it's going to take to get this team where it needs to be, because Dan Campbell, Jared Goff, they're not going anywhere. The Minnesota Vikings, if they get a quarterback, it's going to be a fucking problem. If McCarthy pans out to be something, Minnesota isn't going anywhere anytime soon. And we know the Green Bay Packers, they're not going anywhere. So the best job for a coach would be the Chicago Bears job. I would have said the Raiders, because you have hella cap space, you have free range, but you don't know who the GM is going to be. And not quite frankly, we don't know. I would rather Mark Davis stick his head up his ass instead of football operations. And if I'm a GM going in there, I'm telling Mark Davis, listen, bro, minimum 3 years, maximum 5 years. There's Andy Reid, Patrick Mahomes, Jim Harbaugh, Justin Herbert, Sean Payton, and Bo Nix. There's Hall of Fame coaches and Hall of Fame quarterbacks, and quarterbacks that are young enough that they ain't going anywhere for a long time. I need time to make this work. Best GM position, if you could do that, Raiders. That would be the next best coaching job, Raiders. Yeah. If the GM and coach are on the same page and they got the owner out of the fucking way. Go play with your little young girlfriend. Go have fun over there, bro. Let football people do football things.
See, man, I was going back and forth on this because for me it's between the Bears and the Raiders. Those are the two best positions. Those are the two best jobs, like you just said.
Wow,
Those
people, we didn't talk about this.
We really didn't.
We didn't talk about this.
It's the Bears and the Raiders. And for all the reasons why you mentioned the Raiders, you're interviewing Ryan Poles. You really are. That's the guy, right? And it feels like the Bears already have everything pretty much almost set. It almost feels like they just need somebody to really just turn the switch on in that organization, change the culture, or whatever you want to call it.
Yep.
Really get the best out of Caleb Williams. I'm not even a big like believer or fan of this whole, we got to get this. We have to get a offensive minded coach in there to help Caleb. I'm not even a big fan of that. I think that's a little overrated if you ask me. I think because there's a lot of examples where that does happen, and you have colossal failures for coaches who are literally just brought in for the quarterback. There's so many. There's a couple of good examples, like maybe Sean McVay, and when Jared Goff was there, possibly. And that's what I can't think of anybody else off the top of my head. I can't think of anybody else who kind of came in. I mean, Zach Taylor and Joe Burrow, maybe, I guess. I don't know. But look, I can tell you right now, it's more of a failure than a success when you bring in a coach just to coach the quarterback, right? A head coach, right? I believe I love, like, look, there's so many examples of guys like D'Amico Ryan and CJ Stroud. You got Dan Quinn and Jayden Daniels. Those aren't offensive minded coaches, and those guys are having success because those are head coaches that are building cultures or building teams, not just focus on the quarterback. So I feel like the Bears are right there. I really feel like, I mean, despite the season they had, I feel like they're right there. And look, I feel like the Bears personally wasted a year by keeping Matt Eberflus for whatever reason. And that's on Ryan Poles right there. That's on him. And that's a huge blemish on his resume for keeping a guy like that and wasting a full year where you could have gotten somebody like a Jim Harbaugh to come in who just, and that's another example of a head coach, not really a deep offensive minded guy, but a head coach like Jim Harbaugh who has success lifting up quarterbacks, right? That's
yes.
Not an offensive minded guy. Okay. So I think that was a miss on the Bears, but I think the Bears, the guys they're interviewing, like a Mike McCarthy, or I mean, you're hearing some names. I mean, let me go look. I can't really see on my screen right now, but some guys they're interviewing right now that I'm okay with. Like, I would be okay with possibly an Aaron Glenn. I would be okay with possibly a Mike McCarthy. David Shaw's interesting.
I'd be fine. Honestly, I'd be fine with a Ron Rivera.
I'll be fine with a Ron Rivera. They interview Ron Rivera. I don't think Brian Flores is ever getting a job in the National Football League, but that's just my opinion. I'll be fine with him though. I'd be fine with Brian Flores. I'd be fine with these guys. These guys aren't quarterback guys, but I love it for Caleb Williams and the entire franchise, not just for Caleb Williams, right? But the Las Vegas Raiders would be my second best place for all the reasons you just said. And I'm going to bring in one thing. You didn't mention a name. I'm surprised you didn't mention, right? I think Tom Brady is going to be a buffer to whatever the hell Mark Davis is doing up top. I
hope so.
I think Tom Brady could possibly be whatever John Lynch is doing in San Francisco, right? Kind of being that buffer to the York family. Yeah. The York family, you don't even hear about the York family anymore. It's John Lynch. It's John Lynch and then everybody below him. That's what I'm hoping Tom Brady is going to do in Las Vegas, right? I'm hoping he's going to be that buffer between Mark Davis and whatever the hell is going down in the team, because obviously Mark Davis is a guy that's had his hand in too much with the Vegas Raiders or Oakland Raiders, whatever you want to call them now.
Yeah,
and
Vegas Raiders.
I think that Tom Brady could be that guy. So I think that's a very, 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 very enticing place to go because Tom Brady's there. And again, the cap space they have, I think it's an open canvas of things which you can do. You have Brock Bowers there who you can somewhat kind of build around. You can't really build around a tight end, but that's a good destination if you're a quarterback that you have already a pass catching tight end who's going to be there for about 10, 12 years, who's already a first team all pro, arguably the best tight end in football. Like defensively, they're not great, but they can be really good. I think the Las Vegas Raiders are the second best place, but the Bears to me, because of the weapons they have already there, the defense that's already established there, man, can you imagine? Like, they just need stability. They need somebody to come in and just change the Dan Campbell that place up. That's what they need. They need someone to
Yes.
Dan Campbell that place up, because if they find somebody that can Dan Campbell that place up, it's that the Bears can take off. The Bears can really take off. All right, Fog. Worst. Oh, well, hold on. We got some comments. Let me not ignore our guest. Oh, that's you. All right, so cool.
Yeah.
Fog. Worst. My bad. worst coaching opening right now.
Saints. Saints.
Okay.
It's got to be the Saints. I would have said the Cowboys or the Jets, but the Saints, you have nothing to work with. They have, I think, the second most dead cap space going into 2025, and we're talking, I think it's almost $50 million in dead cap space. They have the worst cap space out of anybody in the NFL. They are number 32. They are the basement. The next place down is the floor. Is the basement, not the floor, the basement. They're under the foundation at this point. The Saints are so screwed that whatever coach goes in there, you are going to be at the mercy of the organization financially, and it's a problem that you can't fix. I feel like you've got 2 years and then you're out. Whatever coach goes to New Orleans,
really,
book it. They're done in 2 years. They're getting fired in 2 years. They're getting fired. It's that simple.
That's interesting. How long was Dennis Allen there?
2 years.
Was he?
I think Dennis Allen was. I'm pretty sure Dennis Allen was there 2 years.
It's a long ass 2 years. Then I feel like he was there forever. I feel like not forever, because Sean Payton left. Then it was him, right? There was nobody in between. I don't think, right? There was nobody.
Hold on.
I don't think there was. I think it was Sean Payton, then him. But Sean Payton has been gone for quite a while, I believe, from New Orleans, at least 4 years. I would say Dennis Allen's there for at least 4 years. I would guess.
No,
you're looking up.
No, when Sean Payton left, he left in 2021.
Oh wow, really?
Dennis Allen took over, was there from 2022 to 2024, and now Darren Rizzi was there as the obviously the interim head coach for the last 8 games.
Interesting.
Yeah, 2 years.
Okay. Okay. I didn't realize,
because remember, Sean Payton did 2 stints there. Remember, he got suspended, and I think it was Joe Vitt that took over as the head coach for 2012 season when Payton got suspended for that. What was that scandal with?
Bountygate.
Yeah, Bountygate.
Okay. Saints are one of those teams that are like, it's not a bad job, it's kind of a meh job. Like, I mean, they don't really have a lot of the cupboard. It's kind of bare. I will say the cupboard's kind of bare for them right now. I will say that.
And you don't have money. That's the problem. You don't have
either.
money.
Like, you're kind of
can't even manipulate you can't manipulate shit.
They're going to be bad for a while. They're going to have to just continue to hit in the draft. Like, they got to hit. Like, they have to hit in the draft, right? So, like, in order to get out of the dumps they're in right now. Honestly, Fog, you picked the Saints. I got Dallas. I think the Dallas Cowboys job is the absolute worst job in the NFL. And it's all because of one guy. Everybody knows who that guy is. I'm not going to sugarcoat anything. It's all because of Jerry Jones. It's not because they're cash strapped. It's not because of the GM is Jerry Jones. It's not because of the players. They have a good team. They went 12-5 for 3 years in a row. So they have a good football team. The roster is there. The quarterback is there. Say what you want about Dak Prescott. He is around a top 10 quarterback now in the NFL right now, but he is. Any given year, Dak Prescott is a top 10 quarterback. They have a star wide receiver. They have a pretty much a somewhat good line. I mean, it's not as good as it was like 3-4 years ago, but the line is still there. They had the defense. They have guys. Like, this team has a roster, right? They only have a defensive tackle, which they need to address, but they have a roster, or a running back, but they have a roster. But Jerry Jones is the worst owner probably in all of sports. Maybe the worst owner, and only because this guy does not want to get out of his own way, and he lets you know that. He's not afraid to tell you my team. He's already, the one thing that was so glaring to me that when he said this in an interview, when he said, I did not buy the Dallas Cowboys to invest. I bought the Dallas Cowboys to work, which, you know what? It's kind of admirable to me because, you know, I get it. You bought it with your own money. You can do what you want with it. But at some point, the fact that this guy doesn't even want to like listen or even like want to bring anybody in to even consult with him, right? You know, as a GM, a president, or whatever it may be, it's the worst owner in sports, or the worst job in sports, in the NFL at least. If I'm a coach, I want to stay clear away from Dallas, because here's another reason why I want to stay clear away from Dallas, is because I just don't feel like, one, you're not going to be able to do anything you want to do, right? You are going to be like just a footnote in whatever the hell is going on in Dallas. And secondly, and thirdly, Fogg, I will say this. Has there been a Dallas Cowboy head coach after they left Dallas that has had any type of success being a head coach again? Like, I can't think of, I was like, when I was making the show and doing these topics, I was like, I couldn't think of anybody that left. Like, I know Jimmy Johnson went to the Dolphins after he left Dallas.
He didn't have success there.
He didn't have success there, right? Jason Garrett goes to the booth. The other guys, Dan Campo, who knows where the hell he went. I think Chan Gailey went to college, I believe. I think he went to Georgia Tech, I believe, or something like that. I forget. Yeah, he went to Georgia Tech for a few years. Coached up Calvin Johnson. Like, I can't think of any coach like that's had success after they've left Dallas. And I say that because, is Dallas a place you really want to go to? Like, because I feel like it's a job that I don't want to say it's going to end your career, but it just puts a bad blemish on it. Like, it's almost like it almost drains you. Like, you don't even want to be coaching anymore. I don't know. I think it's a pretty bad job, man. And Jerry Jones does not make it easy. Like, nobody wants to work for a micromanager. Nobody in the history of working wants to work for a micromanager. And I just feel like Jerry Jones is just that.
I also feel like some of the coaches that they hired were guys that shouldn't have been head coaches. Jason Garrett, Dave Campo, Chan Gailey. They weren't guys that should have been head coaches. And the guy that he did hire that were head coaches, when you think about it, Jimmy Johnson, he brought him in. Jimmy Johnson was a superstar head coach at Miami University. Barry Switzer, superstar head coach at Oklahoma University. So he brought in two established college coaches there. Dave Campo was nothing there. He never had a coaching career. Wade Phillips was a career defensive coordinator, and he proved it because he just was not that guy to take a team to the next level at the head coaching position. But Wade Phillips might be the best coach that wasn't a previous head coach that had success somewhere else. Bill Parcells had success somewhere else. Mike McCarthy had success somewhere else.
After Dallas.
Oh, no, after Dallas, it's almost like these guys. Well, Bill Parcells was already at the twilight of his career.
Wade Phillips. Did he get another job?
I think Wade Phillips.
Had coaching job.
Denver. No, it wasn't Denver.
I don't know if it was head. No, it was Denver. I think Wade Phillips got another like DC job, but never really got another head coaching job.
Head coaching job after.
I don't think he did. I don't think Wade Phillips did. I really don't. I don't think he did. Mike McCarthy's probably going to be the only guy that got a head coaching. Is going to get a head coaching position after he leaves Dallas. He's going to get something. Probably be the Bears. Who knows? He's going to get something. But I don't think I just like Dave Hughes said, like Troy Aikman said, it's not a coveted job. It's just not. It's not a coveted job anymore. It used to be possibly. It's not. It's not a coveted job. We're going to talk a little more. We're going to talk a little more about this in a minute when we do our facts or cap, which we're going to get into right now. So we're going to start having a little bit of fun here. All right, our facts or cap segments. All right, Fog. All right, so facts or cap. Let's go the first one. Here we go. This is your boy. Facts or cap. Jalen Hurts is the worst QB left in the postseason. Is that facts or that cap?
By the numbers, it's cap. By the numbers, it's cap. However, given what he has available to him and what CJ Stroud has had available to him, what Matthew Stafford has had available to him, and the fact that I believe both CJ Stroud and Matthew Stafford are better quarterbacks than Hurts, I'm going to go fact. Hurts is the worst quarterback left in the playoffs. And I hate saying that.
I'm trying to think who's left.
And listen, if it's not Stafford or Stroud, everybody else that's there is in the top 10 quarterbacks statistically.
I think
the three guys that I mentioned, Stroud, Hurts, and Stafford, none of them made my top 10 based on overall statistics this year for quarterbacks. So everybody that's left is in the top 10. Josh Allen, top 10. Jayden Daniels, top 10. Patrick Mahomes cleaned things up, got into that top 10. Lamar Jackson, number 1. Well, number 2. Burrow's number 1. So, no, there's no other. It's Stroud, Stafford, or Hurts. Those are the only 3 options you have.
I'm going to go Stroud.
And I'm perfectly fine with that.
Yeah, I think Stroud is the worst quarterback in these playoffs, based off experience and based off of just how he's looked this year in terms of his play. I think Jalen Hurts is doing exactly what I expect him to do. I don't expect much from Jalen Hurts. I really don't. I expect him not to lose the game, right? So he's doing exactly what I think he should do. And look, his team is thriving from that, right? So I think I'll go CJ Stroud. I think it's his cap. I think it's CJ Stroud. All right, next one. All right, facts or cap. The winner of the Bills-Ravens will win the Super Bowl.
I'm going to go facts.
Yeah?
I'm going to go facts. Me and you are both on the same playing field that Kansas City is potentially a one and done.
Yep.
Don't sleep on DeMeco Ryans and what the Texans are going to bring. Listen, Will Anderson is going to feast today. He's liable to feast.
The matchup is really good.
Yes.
The matchup is good. Very good.
Yep. So I honestly think, and Buffalo has surprised me with the way they've been playing and how they have done things this year. Lamar Jackson has done exactly what he's got to do with the personnel that he's got there. Zachary Orr has been unbelievable. And I'm going to tell you this right now. That's one guy's name who I haven't seen on a head coaching interview list that probably should be, because this Ravens defense for the first half of the season looked like the Cincinnati Bengals. For the second half of the season, they look like the Kansas City Chiefs. So
I think they're gonna hold. They're gonna hold on to him. They're gonna hold on to him for another year. But yeah, Zachary Orr, he's done a great job. Yeah, he has. But I think they're holding on to him.
If Cincinnati beats Buffalo and Buffalo, I mean Cincinnati. If Baltimore beats Buffalo and Buffalo, Baltimore is going to the Super Bowl.
And that's the reason why I say this is facts, because this is going to be I think this is going to be the hardest game the Baltimore Ravens have to play based on environment, where they're going. If this was in Baltimore, I would have no issue picking Baltimore over the Bills. None. Like, but them going to Buffalo, like Buffalo beat the Chiefs in Buffalo. Like,
Yeah.
So that's how good the Buffalo Bills play in Buffalo. It's a tough environment. And the last time Lamar Jackson was there in the postseason, got crushed, right?
Yeah.
I think it was 2019 when they went there. So, I mean, yeah, it was bad. I mean, obviously it's a different quarterback. That was 4 or 5 years ago now, which seems like forever ago based on how he's playing. But yeah, I think whoever wins this game, because I think either one of these teams can beat any team remaining in the playoffs. But more importantly, either one of these teams can beat the Chiefs. Honestly, if we're being honest, both of them should have beat the Chiefs. The Bills did. The Ravens probably should have first game of the season, the opener, when they were in Kansas City, right? So yeah, I would say this is facts as well. I would say this is facts. All right, next one. Facts or cap? Deion Sanders. Do a little college football in there for you. Deion Sanders will be the head coach of the Colorado Buffaloes next year.
Facts.
Okay, so pretty easy.
Yeah, very easy, because there's no head coaching job in the NFL that would be worth going to, because the money is not. Deion isn't in it for the money. Deion is in it for legacy, and Deion Sanders is not going to go to the NFL where he's going to have an opportunity. There's no team, there's no job available right now where he's going to have the opportunity to create a legacy.
Yeah.
He's got the opportunity here. It's why I say Marcus Freeman, even if he wins a national title in Notre Dame and Notre Dame wins it all, I'm Marcus Freeman. I don't give a fuck if you are giving me $100 million. I'll make $100 million from Notre Dame in the next 5 years and
100%.
Still have a job.
100%.
Whereas whatever NFL team I go to, I may not have a job in 2 years.
Like Marcus Freeman is set for life if he wins a national championship in Notre Dame.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Like the statue is coming. The statue is coming. If Marcus Freeman can win a national championship, it's going to be put right next to Lou Holtz.
Exactly. Listen, 1988 was the last time they were relevant. That was Lou Holtz.
Yeah, I think this is facts too. I think Deion.
Tim Brown, if I'm not mistaken, was the Heisman Trophy wide receiver that played for that goddamn team.
Yeah, 1988. Tim Brown. Yep. And I forget who they beat. Who they beat? Miami. I forget who they beat. But yeah, I think this is facts too. I think Deion will be the head coach of Colorado next year. For all the reasons you said, I don't think there's any job that's really enticing. I think the only enticing jobs that Deion was interested in was Las Vegas Raiders, which I understand because his son may get drafted there, right?
Yeah.
Pretty enticing to coach your son in the NFL. And also, I do believe the Dallas Cowboys. He played for Dallas. He has a relationship with Jerry Jones. But I just don't think those two egos. I think Deion knows. Deion knows those two egos can't work. Deion knows, if anybody knows Jerry Jones, it's Deion Sanders. And he knows, can I work with this guy? I can't. I think he's flattered, obviously, to coach for arguably the most recognizable sports franchise, really in all sports. One of the most recognizable. That Dallas Star is recognizable everywhere you go on this planet, right? So to be the head coach of that team, yeah, I think that intrigues Deion, but Deion wants to be the guy. Like you said, he wants to build a legacy. And if he can build a legacy by creating, and Deion's a program builder, like he has shown, right? He's a program builder. I don't think you can build a program in the NFL the way you can build one in college. And I just feel like Deion's gonna want all the control, all the spotlight. He doesn't want to share that with Jerry Jones. He's not going anywhere. He'll be at Colorado for the foreseeable future, unless another college job. I think Deion stays in college personally.
Yeah,
I think he stays in college. I think it's the NFL. Well, I feel like will suppress him too much as far as like him being this larger than life guy, right? College football is going to uplift that, like because the coaches are the stars in college football. Let's get to some of these comments by our boy Kevin Oliver. Let's see about Deion. I don't want Deion. I don't think Deion would enjoy coaching professionals, not the way he likes to kick it. He likes mentoring. Yeah, I think that's another reason why I think Deion's not going anywhere. I think he likes his role as a coach in college football. I think you can't. The only guy that's really been able to do that is Mike Tomlin, but you got to be there for a long time to get where Deion. And remember, Tomlin got there when he was in his 30s. He's in his 50s now. He's still he's younger than Deion Sanders, right? So like, take that into consideration. Like that's hard to do what Mike Tomlin has done. Remember when old boy left LSU saying can't win? Yeah, I know that's Brian Kelly looking real.
Yeah, but in all fairness, that's not that stupid a statement.
It's not. You're right.
At that time, nobody knew this 12-team playoff was actually going to be something. So in essence, he was 100% right. Notre Dame would never have been in this position if the playoff does not get expanded. Let's be perfectly clear with that.
Also, with NIL, when he left LSU 3 years ago, I think it was 2021 or something like that, 2020 something. When he left, NIL, it was big. Don't get me wrong, it was still, but it wasn't like what it is right now, especially with the 12-team playoff. Yeah. So what he said wasn't wrong. I think people are just using that quote to rub in his face. And Brian Kelly's kind of a jerk, so I understand. Take the opportunity to kick him down while he's down. I get it, but what he said about Notre Dame wasn't all that bad. It was true, especially with especially before NIL. The academics and everything else and recruiting, they weren't getting these guys. They weren't getting Jeremiah Loves. Hell no. No, they weren't getting these guys. No, man. Like Brian Kelly, I'm not a big fan of the guy, but he's somewhat kind of right with this. Somewhat kind of right. And then lastly, Kevin, well, look at God and amazing how Brian Kelly suffers in purgatory. Hey, look, again, we just said Brian Kelly, I get it. He's not the greatest guy in the world, but let's be real here. I don't agree with that one. I mean, he's not all wrong with what he said. All right, facts or cap? Let's get back to it. Facts or cap? Jayden Daniels is having the best rookie year of all time.
At the quarterback position, I'd have to say, yeah. Primarily because of the success he's having, but I think there's other positions where you can argue individually those players may have had the best rookie seasons of all time. But because of the position he's playing, the era in which we're playing in, and how valuable that quarterback position is, I'd say facts.
Better than Ben?
Yeah, because I think Ben had better personnel around him.
Yeah. Defensively, yeah. But defensively, yeah. I mean, okay. I mean, people say the same thing about CJ Stroud last year. I think Barry Sanders had a hell of a rookie year as well. He had 1,400 yards. Like that's a rookie. As a rookie in the NFL, 14 touchdowns in 1989. I think Randy Moss had a pretty good year. Like as a rookie coming into the NFL, has 17 touchdowns his first year as a rookie, I believe.
Dan Marino. I think Dan Marino.
I think we're so quarterback driven. We're so quarterback addicted. It's an addiction. Quarterbacks are an addiction in the NFL. Cam Newton
had a fucking phenomenal over 4,000 yards passing. I think he had like over 20. I think he had like 21 or 22 touchdown passes, but then had like 15 or 16 rushing touchdowns on top of it. Cam had a phenomenal rookie season.
I'm gonna say cap to this because I'm not gonna be prisoner of the moment guy. I'm just not. Adrian Peterson's rookie year was incredible. right? Adrian Peterson wasn't. I mean, we're a quarterback-driven society. We love quarterbacks. People, I mean, I'm not saying the quarterback position is not important, but, and yes, impact. I understand. I feel like that word is being overused a little bit because I think Dan Quinn has a lot to do with the impact on the football team too. Like,
yes,
coach has a lot to do with that as well. Like, but nobody wants to look at that. I think that just the changing of the guard of ownership has a lot to do with that as well. I mean, there's so many other factors. I'm not saying Jayden Daniels isn't a factor. I wouldn't say he's the. I just can't say it's the best I've ever seen. It's not. It's just not. I mean, Randy Moss, Barry Sanders, AP comes to mind. Ben Roethlisberger comes to mind. So many guys come to mind. I mean, if I'm not mistaken, correct me if I'm wrong, Fog. Did Russell Wilson take his team to the NFC title game his rookie year in 2012?
I think he did.
There you go.
But he also, I will say this. I will say this about quarterbacks. Jayden Daniels might be the only quarterback outside of Dan Marino in their rookie season that finished in the top 10 quarterback statistics.
Fair enough.
Like,
fair enough.
You could make an argument that Jayden Daniels, had Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow, and Josh Allen not had the fucking amazing seasons that they've had, Jayden Daniels would be right there in the MVP conversation with this Washington Commanders team.
Fair enough. I can give you the greatest rookie quarterback season. I'll concede to that. I will concede to that.
That's why I think that's
I can't because the
remember Eric Dickerson. Eric Dickerson, and I may have been alive, but I don't remember seeing it, but I remember watching the numbers and everything and watching what he did. The Rams were a shell of a team when he got there, and literally he brought them to the playoffs in 1983 when he got there, and the numbers that he put up was incredible. And then his 84 season was when he went ballistic and set the rushing record.
Yeah. That sophomore year, a lot of these guys I'm looking at this list, like Dan Marino took his team to the Super Bowl, like the second year.
Yep.
And then Eric Dickerson went off. I think that's when he broke the rushing record the second year.
Yeah.
Right. So like I always say, I didn't crown CJ Stroud like the way people did last year. I said, no, let me see. No, he's a rookie, right? Let me see it again. He didn't do it again. He had a little bit. He receded, right? I said, it is what it is, right? He regressed. I would like to see Jayden Daniels do it again. I would like that. It's consistency, man. We have to see it more than 1 or 2 years, But greatest rookie quarterback season, I might concede to. I have to do a little more research on that. I just remember how good Ben was coming into the 2004 season, getting his team to the NFC title game. I mean, he was great. He was great. Great defense, but he was really, really good. All right. I believe that's it for Facts or Cap. So let's do some over-under. You're a betting guy, Fog. You like over-unders? Let's do some over-unders here. Over-under. First one, over-under. Derrick Henry rushes for 150.5 yards against the Buffalo Bills today.
Under.
Oh, tomorrow. Excuse me. Under?
Under.
I'm very, very tempted to say over because I'm going to show you why. Here's what Derrick Henry is doing his last 4 games. His last 4 games, including the playoffs last week against the Steelers. Derrick Henry, in my opinion, could be going on a Hall of Fame Terrell Davis type of run in the postseason. Terrell Davis, greatest postseason back of all time.
Yeah.
Greatest postseason. He's the reason why John Elway has rings. That's it.
Oh, I've been said that.
I know you have.
Mr. John Elway's a top 10 quarterback of all time. I've been said that.
Top 5, by the way. But yeah, look. Derrick Henry may be going on this is what I'm not saying Lamar Jackson is John Elway because obviously he's not in the twilight of his career. But man, I'm gonna go over. I think he eclipses 150. I really do. I'm gonna say 152. 152, 153. I think he's gonna go off again. I think the way Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry are playing right now, how the synergy they have right now, the confidence that Lamar Jackson is actually running, so you have to account for him on the backside. Like it's incredible. It really is incredible. I'm gonna go over. I'm gonna go 150. I'm gonna go 153 for Derrick Henry. All right, next one. CJ Stroud throws for 1.5 TDs today against the Kansas City Chiefs.
Oh, I take that.
You take that?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, I would too.
I take the over on that.
If he throws under, it's a blowout.
Yeah.
Something happened. Something seriously happened, like went wrong. If he throws more than 2, I give him a chance to win. So I'm going to say over. I'm going to say he throws 2. It's going to be a tighter game than people think. I'm going to say he throws 2 touchdowns. All right. Here's the next one. Over under. Let's stay in this game. Patrick Mahomes. 0.5 interceptions for Patrick Mahomes today.
I'm taking the over. He's going to throw a pick.
I think he's going to throw a couple.
To happen.
I think he's going to throw a couple. I guess possibly the best secondary he's going to face.
Yeah.
Probably in this postseason if he continues. Right? Yeah, I think Derek Stingley and Brown. I forget the guy's first name. I forget his first name, but Brown. They're a hell of a tandem, and they made Justin Herbert look like a rookie. They made Justin Herbert look like he didn't know what the hell was going on.
They destroyed him.
Yeah, they really did. They really destroyed him. Really destroyed him. I'm gonna go over. I'm gonna go out on a limb here, Fog. If Patrick Mahomes throws 2 interceptions, they lost. They're gonna lose. Because I think one of those interceptions is gonna go for a touchdown, and another could go for a field goal. As long as the Texans can capitalize on it, they're gonna lose. So I'm gonna say over. Here's a good one. You'll like this one. This is for you. AJ Brown. 6 receptions over under.
I was going to say pages read in a book. 6 receptions against the Rams. Oh. I'm going to take the over on this one just because I believe Philadelphia's. I think that Philadelphia is going to come out against the Rams, and I think they're going to come out throwing it in that first 15 to 20 scripted plays that you have. I believe half of them are going to be pass plays, and I think they're going to be targeted to AJ Brown to get him involved early to keep him in the game. Listen, this is what Philadelphia does. Every time there's been some type of dissatisfaction with A.J. Brown, Devonta Smith, with the passing game and how it looked, Philadelphia's come out that next game and they've let it fly. I 100% believe they're going to come out and they're going to let it fly, at least in the scripted plays, and then it'll get back to run.
Whew. You know, I'm gonna go over on this too. I'm gonna say 6.5 or 7. And the reason why is I actually agree. You actually convinced me because I do remember these two teams playing, and Philly ran all over them. I think Saquon had 255 yards or 65.
Saquon had a fucking game on them.
He had a get in on the road. It was in Los Angeles. So yeah. I think the Rams are going to be ready for a heavy dose of Saquon, load the box a little bit, and it's going to be one-on-one all day outside for Devontae and A.J. Brown. And all all Jalen Hurts needs to do is complete some passes. So I think the Rams are going to make Jalen Hurts beat them. And I think A.J. Brown's going to be a big part of this game. So I'm going to say 7 receptions. I'm going to say, I think this will be a game where I think Jalen Hurts throws more than 35 times, right? And I think 7 of those go to A.J. Brown, maybe 5 go to Devontae Smith, and then he's going to spread the ball around, right? I mean, I think it's going to be one of those. It's going to be a game that Jalen Hurts is going to have to win. So I'm going to say over on this as well. I agree with you. All right, kind of a fun one next. Coaching one. Dan Campbell. 2.5 times Dan Campbell goes for it on 4th down.
I'm going to say under. I think he goes for it maybe 2 times.
2 times?
Yeah.
How many times did he go for it? Go for it last year in the AFC title game? Like 3?
I don't remember.
I don't remember either, but I gotta look into it. I'm gonna say over. I'm gonna say 3 times. I think Dan Campbell's gonna roll the dice on this one, man. I think he's gonna want to put the Commanders away, and he's gonna want to keep Jayden Daniels on the sideline. So I'm gonna say over, and I think they have the offensive coordinator to do it. I do. I think they have the offensive coordinator to do it. So I'm gonna say 2.5 times. One more, Paul. I got one more for you. Because I want to discuss this real quick before we go into our picks. I'm gonna type it in real quick.
I think I'm looking at it now. The Commanders look like they went for more on 4th downs and had the best 4th down conversion rate than any other team in the league this year. 20 of 23 on 4th down conversions. Holy shit.
I'm gonna say over. All right, Paul, real quick. Over under. I don't have a picture for this, so we'll keep Dan Campbell up there. We'll keep him up there. It's not Dan Campbell, but it's this guy. Over under. Ben Johnson coaches 1 game for the Lions in 2025.
Coaches, like head coach?
No, just coaches. He's back. He's the OC.
Man. I'm taking the over. I think Ben Johnson stays in Detroit. I don't think any of these jobs are anything to rejoice over that are available, and I think you have an opportunity because the Lions window isn't closed anytime soon. Mm-hmm. You have an opportunity here to really create something and really put yourself in a position to say, hey, I'm going to pick and choose where I coach. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to allow what's available to dictate what I do as much as I am going to say, hey, I'm available. What the fuck do you want to do?
We're on the same page. I think Ben Johnson returns to the Lions next year as the offensive coordinator. I don't think any of these jobs entice him. I think he's number 1 on a lot of lists. Like I think if he says I want to go there, they'll hire him. They'll hire him. Like I think that he's going to be the guy that is on. He has choices, right? I think that he's going to be back. I think he's the most coveted OC we've had in some time. And I think there's no reason to rush. There's going to be jobs open next year. There's going to be jobs. They will be. You know what's funny? This is a pipe dream. I'm not gonna go into this too much because I still gotta make my Steelers. I still gotta make my Steelers video, which I will. I'm trying to get my mind right for it. Man, I think Arthur Smith is gonna be gone. Personally, I think he's gonna be out after 1 year in Pittsburgh. He's gonna be out. He's gonna get a head coaching job or whatever. He's interviewing for jobs, and I hope he gets it so we can get the hell out of Pittsburgh. If we can somehow lure Ben Johnson out of Detroit, bring him to Pittsburgh, and then you know what I thought about? Make him the head coach in waiting. Because honestly, personally, I think Tomlin has 2 more years. He's gonna step down. I think he's gonna retire at year 20. I feel like 20 is a nice round number. He's gonna be year 19 next year. He's gonna be year 19 next year. You hire Ben Johnson. Tomlin retires. You hire Ben Johnson as the head coach for the next 20 years. Like, that's what I hope. That's a pipe dream, but I just feel like I feel like that would be a perfect move because we need an OC like Ben Johnson under a guy like Mike Tomlin would be great. But yeah, I think it's over. I think Ben Johnson coaches for the Lions again next year. I don't think he's going anywhere. None of these jobs entice him. They should not entice him. They shouldn't entice him. But all right, let's get to our picks, man. Let's get to our picks. We got a game here, in about in about a couple hours. 1:30 over here, 4:30 over there for you. Bog, who you got? You got Washington at Detroit.
Man, I want to say Washington so bad because I love what Jayden Daniels is doing, but I'm taking Detroit in this one.
Okay. I got Detroit too. I think this is where the buck stops for the Commanders. I think Detroit's just too good. They're getting healthy. They're at home. I feel like it's just gonna be too much for Washington to overcome. It will be, especially for a rookie. All right, Rams. Excuse me, Rams at Eagles.
Eagles at home. I'm taking Philly. This is going to be a tough game. This will be a tough game, but I'm taking Philadelphia. I hate the fact I would have much preferred to play Minnesota just because Sean McVay's he's good.
He's good, man.
He's good.
He's good. He's a hell of a football coach. Yeah, he really is. And he's one of the guys, I've said this, there's only about 2 or 3 guys right now in the NFL that I would replace with Tomlin, and McVay is one. McVay is one of them. I would replace Sean McVay with Mike Tomlin.
Yeah, makes sense.
That's it. Yeah, but I'm going Eagles as well at home. I think they clean it up. I feel like the Rams are overachieving right now. I'm not a big fan of them defensively, especially against the run. I think the Eagles make it to the NFL game, man. I think they play the Lions. All right, we got Texans at Chiefs.
Look, I think the Texans can upset them. I'm picking the Chiefs to win, but if you're betting, it's 9.5. Take the Texans, getting the points.
The Texans. I agree. I don't think Kansas City's gonna cover the spread. I don't see them covering the spread. Texans played them pretty well the last time they played, like a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
Right. So, and that was the game that Tank Dell went down, kind of sad, but and then Joe Mixon's injured now. He's got ankle issues. So yeah, I got Kansas City win this game. I do. Even though I've been saying they're one and done all year, I think they win this game because of just the injuries. The Texans aren't full health. That's it. But I think it's going to be a closer game than we think. Kansas City moves on. All right, that heavyweight fight. Baltimore at Buffalo. Who you got?
I'm taking Baltimore. They got the running game. They got the defense. Like I said, they have cleaned things up in the second half of the season. I'm taking Baltimore.
I'm taking Baltimore, too, for everything you just said. I think this team is just hitting in all cylinders right now. They're healthy. Lamar seems confident. He's being aggressive. Like, the way he came out against us last week, it wasn't even, he didn't even think about throwing sometimes. He just took off, right? And that is what he has to do. I think Lamar's on a mission. I think honestly, I'm not gonna lie to you, folks. I think the Bills have overachieved a little bit as well. I don't know how good. I think the Bills have overachieved. I do. I think the Bills aren't as good as advertised. And the last time these two teams faced, it was in Baltimore. They killed them 35-10.
Yep.
I don't know. I don't think they're gonna close that gap too much, even though it's at home. I think Baltimore pulls it out. I think it'll be close. It'll be close. I think Josh Allen will make his plays. But I think Derrick Henry has, like I said, I think Derrick Henry has one of his games. I think he's on a mission. This may be his last chance to win the Super Bowl. So I think the Ravens win this game. All right. So we got Baltimore, Kansas City on one side, and then we have the Lions and the Eagles on the other side. That should be a hell of a Final Four. So pretty much the only upset I guess we have is seeding wise is Baltimore over the Bills. Yes. But both of us have just said that we think the Bills overachieved. So I think it actually be more of an upset if the Bills beat Baltimore. If you ask me, even though they're at home. All right, we got one more game. One more game to talk about. Big game, the national championship game. I would love to do
you picking.
Because I picked them to win it, which Texas ruined my bracket. Texas, oh man, I almost had the perfect bracket outside of SMU. I had this side correct up until Texas screwed it up, and then I had this side was pretty much was kind of a mess because SMU lost in the beginning 3 weeks ago. But Notre Dame, Ohio State, January 20th, MLK Day, Fog, who you got?
Man, I don't know who to root for because I don't like either one of them, and I hate their fan bases. I'm rooting for Notre Dame and Marcus Freeman. I really am. Just to throw a monkey wrench in everything. But we said it before. I said Ohio State, if they get it, where people are stuck on stupid when it comes to Ohio State because they're remembering Michigan, remember Michigan, and forgetting that prior to that Michigan game, the four best teams, if we still were doing a 4-team playoff, the four best teams in the NCAA were the Longhorns, the Oregon Ducks, the Ohio State Buckeyes, and the Georgia Bulldogs. Those were the four best teams, hands down. Ohio State got dropped because of that loss, and people forgot. They mollywopped Tennessee. They beat the brakes off of Oregon and said, now we're on the neutral field. We're not in your home. We're on the neutral field. They dropped them. And then they beat Texas, and Texas has been a team that is roller coastered all season. They've played up and down to the competition. They played down to Arizona State. Shouldn't have made it. They made it. They played a good game against Ohio State, and until that chaotic last series that resulted in a fumble getting returned for a touchdown, Texas was in that game and could have actually won that game. Do we believe Texas and Notre Dame are on the same level? Absolutely not. Ohio State is going to win this game.
Ooh, all right. I'm going with Notre Dame because I picked Notre Dame at this very beginning. I had Notre Dame getting to the national title game. I said all year, this is not your grandfather or your dad's Notre Dame team. It's just not. This is an NIL Notre Dame team. It's different, okay? It's a different era. This is a different football team. I'm going Notre Dame for a couple reasons. One, I picked them. And two, I think it would actually justify the 12-team playoff. Because without the 12-team playoff, there is no Notre Dame. There's none. We're not talking about Notre Dame in the national championship game. They don't even make it, right? They're left out because the four teams you just mentioned, Georgia, Ohio State, Texas, Oregon were the 4 best teams if we're talking about the old structure, which we would have got those teams, right? Notre Dame proved that it's hard, one, to win 3-4 games. It is, right? And they did it. They've won 3 games in a row. But Georgia, we all saw that didn't really belong. They wouldn't have belonged in the 14 playoff. They would got annihilated by one of those teams, right?
Primarily because of injury, though.
Primarily because of injury, but they still would have got in, though.
Yeah.
They still would have been given the benefit of the doubt. They still would have gotten in. Oregon, personally, I didn't think they were like all super great all year, even though they were number 1 team in the country. I get it. I wasn't a big fan of Oregon, but they would have gotten in. Texas would have gotten in. I thought Texas was a pretty good team, but you said it, you hit on the money. They're like this all year. Yep. Ohio State, if we're being honest, probably was the best team in college football.
Yeah.
All year. If we're being for real, best roster, best team. Didn't have it's just the head coach is a spaz. Chip Kelly is a moron at times, right? So the coaching is what held them back. But Notre Dame wins this game. For me, it justifies the 12-team playoff worked.
Yeah.
And it did exactly what it's supposed to do. And it's to have these games played out on the field, right? And no hypotheticals. Because it would have been easy for everybody to dismiss Notre Dame as being one of the best 4 teams or one of the best teams in college football because they're Notre Dame. Yeah. And I'm happy for them because we're actually able to see this is not the same Notre Dame team we're used to seeing. So I'm rooting for Notre Dame for that reason because I want it to justify. I mean, they already justified it for me for making the national title game, but they'll really justify it by winning it. So that's why I want Notre Dame to win it. Because it will really justify the 12-team playoff. It really would be. So those are picks. So you got Notre Dame or Ohio State?
Oh, I'm taking Ohio. I'm taking Ohio State.
Who's Avery got?
Avery, who you taking? Ohio State, Notre Dame? Fuck, he took Notre Dame.
Yeah. Avery's smart. Somebody got brains now, Fog Mac family. Somebody, I knew it. I already knew it. Good pick, Avery. Good pick. Great pick, actually.
B said good pick.
Great pick. Oh, man. All right. Well, that's going to do it for us. We really, really hope you guys enjoy all the football that's going to be happening this week. We got some great games. The national title game will pretty much cap off the great games we have. We got great playoff games starting in about a couple hours tomorrow as well. Then we have the national title game. Really, really enjoy you guys being here with us. Thank you, Kevin Oliver, and everybody else who joined on the YouTube page, on the Facebook pages, everywhere that was shared. Really, really appreciate it. And we're looking forward to seeing you guys again next week to talk about what the AFC title game. And also, it is draft season. We are gearing up. Fog has already put out his top. No, not your top 10 college quarterbacks, but you put in your top 10 NFL quarterbacks for this year.
Yeah, no, I'm wrapping up I did top 10 quarterbacks this year statistically. I did the top 10 receivers. I'm going to do the top 10 running backs next this weekend. I should have that out by Sunday. But then after that, I am in full college football mode.
Yes, sir.
I'm giving normally I do top 5s, and for the quarterback position, I'll probably stick with top 5 because there's really nothing outside of that. But I think I'm going to do a top 10 running backs and top 10 wide receivers, as well as top 10 edge rushers coming out this year in college.
Yeah, there's some good edge. There's some good. I mean, I know everyone's enamored. I said everyone's enamored with quarterbacks. But there's some good edge rushers coming out this year.
Yes,
really good defensive backs coming out this year.
Yep. Oh yeah. Look, there's a lot of depth coming out this year.
A lot of depth in the defensive back position. And I understand that the quarterback position, the sexy position, is not good this year. I mean, after Cam Ward, after Jayden Sanders, it's a big drop off, right? I mean, I know they're trying to boost up Jackson Dart for whatever reason. And then Quint Ewers just declared for the NFL draft, so we'll see what happens there. We'll see the draft. The draft game is going to start here in a little bit, and then we're going to start seeing some guys go up draft boards, and Jalen Monroe is probably going to fly off the charts at the combine. He's going to be the next Anthony Richardson. I wouldn't be surprised if Jalen Monroe is a top 5 pick. Somebody's going to fall in love with Jalen Monroe. Just like someone fell in love with Anthony Richardson. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, someone's going to fall in love with this guy. And it just makes the draft process that much more fun. So we're gearing up for that. So we're going to be talking about AFC title games next week, or NFC or conference championship games next week. Wrap up, recap the national title game, and then getting into some draft stuff as well. I'm going to try to get my mock draft out probably after the national championship game. I'll get that out after the Natty game, and then we'll go from there, folks. We got from now until about April to have some fun with this one.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, sir. All right. Thank you guys for watching. You guys enjoy your Saturday, and we will see you guys next week.